Imagine sitting around a campfire deep in the Mexican desert, the stars so bright they cut through your soul. Don Miguel Ruiz speaks, his voice steady, weaving a story of ancient Toltec wisdom, how our minds trap us in a prison of fear and lies. Why do we suffer so much, he asks. The answer hides in the agreements we've made without even realizing it. Stick with me, because breaking these unspoken contracts flips your world upside down, peeling away layers that keep joy just out of reach. And it all starts with one simple rule. Words, they're like seeds. Don Miguel tells us how his teacher taught him this deadly power at the Toltec temple in Mexico City. But seeds can grow into poison or a garden. What if the words you say secretly cage your mind? Don Miguel remembers his father, a proud man with a sharp tongue, who tossed words like daggers, carving deep wounds in his children's hearts. Growing up, Miguel realized that those casual curses were more than hurtful, they became beliefs. He carried that weight, shaping his sense of self and fear. And the shock, that those same poisonous words were echoing back from his own mouth, binding him tighter in the grip of self-doubt. Think of your words as spells. Ruiz describes them as energetic forces, like a wizard casting either a healing charm or a curse on your future. Speak kindness and you plant flowers. Speak cruelty and you sow weeds. This magic acts invisibly but irrevocably, sculpting your world and your inner life. The irony? Most of us are casting dark spells without even realizing it. The breakthrough comes when you choose to wield your words with integrity. Being impeccable means cutting loose the toxic chatter, starting with how you talk to yourself. This shift dissolves shame and doubt like morning mist under sunlight. The freedom? Astonishing. You transform from captive to creator, crafting a life where words spark joy instead of pain. Here's where Ruiz blows your mind. Almost every wound you've got, not even yours, it's other people's crap, like a boomerang of garbage you let land on you. But what if you didn't catch it? What if you just let it fly past? Ruiz recounts a moment with an old Toltec elder who told him, "Nothing others do is because of you." This was revolutionary because Ruiz had always blamed himself for every insult or anger thrown his way. The elder explained these words were vehicles for others, own fears, wounds, and illusions. Carrying this truth was like discovering a shield that had been there all along, except it was invisible until you believed it. Imagine every opinion or criticism as an arrow. The problem? Most people catch those arrows and nurse wounds that never needed to exist. The Toltec teach that when you refuse to take these shots personally, the arrows simply bounce off, their poison harmless. You see their source instead of their sting, stark and powerless. Once you stop swallowing other people's emotional garbage, life lightens. This liberates you from a toxic loop of neediness and resentment, turning others' negativity into background noise. You start living your truth, not their fear. Your soul breathes easier, and for the first time in a long time, you're fiercely, unapologetically yourself. We all love to fill in blanks, talk ourselves into stories that spiral. Ruiz points out how assumptions are like ghosts in your mind, haunting your happiness with lies you never checked. What would happen if you just asked? Young Miguel once assumed a friend was angry when he got no reply. He imagined the worst, betrayal, rejection, but never asked. Ruiz reveals this story to highlight how assumptions layered atop his fear created entire dramas without a shred of proof. The loneliness and pain came not from truth but his own invented story. That moment left a seed. What if you stop making guesses and simply check in? Assumptions are mental fog, Ruiz says. Like looking through a shattered mirror, you don't see reality but fragments warped by your own biases and fears. This fog distorts meaning and poisons relationships, feeding misunderstandings that breed anger and sadness. The antidote is simple yet radical. Replace guesses with questions, and shadows turn to light. When you break the habit of assumptions, clarity enters like a sudden sunrise. Conversations open, misunderstandings dissolve, and you escape the traps of imagined drama. It's freedom in the purest form. Asking instead of guessing transforms not just your relationships but your entire approach to life's mysteries. Ruiz's last agreement isn't about perfection, it's about presence. Doing your best sounds obvious, but here's the catch. Your best changes every day. What if showing up fully was your secret weapon against guilt and regret? When Ruiz struggled with addiction and self-loathing, he judged himself mercilessly, trapping in a cycle of shame and failure. He realized beating himself up didn't help. It held him back. Shaking off this heavy cloak became his breakthrough. Doing your best, he learned, isn't a brutal standard but a daily choice to engage honestly with your moment wherever you are. Picture your best as a curve, not a dot. It shifts with your energy, mood, and circumstances. Some days you sprint, others you crawl. Both are your best on those days. Accepting this fluid standard lets you ditch the all-or-nothing trap. You stop fighting yourself and start celebrating effort and progress, however small. This agreement transforms life into a compassionate game. You replace guilt and regret with acceptance and growth. Your best becomes a moving rhythm, freeing you to be fully human, flawed, and glorious all at once. The results? Relief, progress, and a deep-seated pride that no failure can erode. So what happens when you string all four agreements like beads on a necklace? Ruiz makes it clear. You become a peaceful warrior, someone who fights old habits with new clarity, love, and freedom. But that journey isn't painless or instant, ready for the wild payoff. Don Miguel shares the raw truth. Shedding self-limiting beliefs is painful because those lies are comfort zones. Like a snake shedding skin, you feel vulnerable, exposed. But this pain is the gateway to power. Each discarded agreement unchains your mind, letting you stumble into a new realm of possibility filled with light and hope. The price? Temporary discomfort, worth the priceless reward. The peaceful warrior isn't a mythic figure, but a daily choice. Ruiz paints this image vividly, showing up in the world with integrity, fearless honesty, and unconditional love. It's about replacing victimhood with mastery, refuse to fight suffering blindly. Instead, you navigate life's chaos with calm precision and fierce kindness. The ultimate payoff is wild and beautiful, joy that needs no reason, and love that asks for nothing in return. You stop reacting to the world's punches and start dancing with the unexpected. This freedom, Ruiz promises, isn't just a dream but a way of being accessible when you live by these four simple agreements. Back at that desert campfire, Ruiz's voice lingers in the night air. Your agreements run the show, but you hold the pen. You've seen how cutting loose toxic words and assumptions rewires your mind and soul. Now here's your drink till it sinks in challenge. Tonight, listen to your self-talk. Catch just one toxic phrase and flip it. Don't take offense to that impossible email or harsh word. Ask that question you've been avoiding, and above all, honor your best effort. It's the only promise you need to keep. Start there and watch your world rewrite itself. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.